Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for Thawwab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our program Learning Arabic. We did discuss in the last episode how can we write and pronounce Ra, and we also make a kind of quick revision for the previous letters that we have discussed in our episodes. Today actually we're going to move on. After Ra we have They, and I think that we can discuss more about that after introducing all my guests today. As always, I'm joined with Khalid from Ghana, Muhammad from England, Osama from Egypt, and Nabil from Pakistan. Welcome to all of you. So how do you see Ra before moving on to They? How do you see the letter Ra in Arabic? Did you find any difficulty in pronouncing it or in writing it?
I think it's probably one of the easiest one to pronounce.
The easiest one?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. I agree with Muhammad. It's
okay.
very easy.
Very easy, right.
It's found in English and many other languages.
Even in pronouncing it?
Yeah. I think the same way.
I see. Khalid, does
I
have a
think
comment?
why it's easy for the English speaker because it's also available in English and many other languages too.
Right, it's found in English, and I think that you can find a lot of Arabic letters that can be found in English, in French, in German, but you can find also on the other hand some letters in Arabic that probably may not be found in the other languages. I'm talking here about pronouncing the letters. Now I would like to move on to They, and I think that is the letter probably which is described. Do you still remember when we were talking about Dal and Zal?
Yeah.
And Re, so we say Re, Ra,
yeah.
and then we have Z, which is Zain.
Yes.
Well, of course, Zain is different from Zal in sort of way, which is probably Zal is interdental, but Zay here in this way.
I think it's probably your tongue is going to
exactly
lower teeth,
going actually. Well, when it comes to Zal,
Yeah.
so we put the tip of the tongue between the upper and lower teeth. Can you see that?
Yeah.
But for Z, I'm not saying the. Yep.
I think that Zen is like Z.
Exactly, it could
Z
be right.
in English.
Right, but please don't be confused, because sometimes when you say the in English,
Z.
can you see that? So we put the tip of the tongue between the upper and lower teeth. Something that probably could be different from Z.
Some people probably say like Z. So your tongue is automatically going towards downwards.
Exactly,
Which
right.
means is that. But if you say Z, that comes between your teeth.
Exactly.
I think there is some buzz in pronouncing Zay.
Right.
And by the way, Ahmed, we have 254 words that begin with the word, with the sound of the letter Z in the Evergreen.
I like your statistics, Sam. I like that kind of statistics. More than 200.
Yeah, 254 words.
Starting with they.
Yeah, but also people also have difficulties and the problems. They make confusion and overlap between Zay and Va. For example, Zara, we have Zara.
Right.
To grow to farm.
Exactly.
They say Zara, okay?
Yeah.
So there's
And you know, Sam, when it comes to Za, I think in such a way it's also an emphatic sound.
Emphatic sound.
Right.
Yeah.
So it looks like the same emphatic features like Ain, like Ta, like Ra, right?
Yeah.
And so we have a lot actually when it comes to the emphasis features in Arabic. But for Zay, I think that is probably, Zay could be close to Ra when it comes actually in the writing styles.
The writing system.
Because
yeah.
here
I don't think it's close with vowel. I think vowel is pronounced differently compared to Z.
Right.
I don't know how people can mix up with this. It's totally different, I think.
Right.
His vowel is probably more forced. Wow. I mean, it's Z. You probably massive vibration is Z.
Exactly.
You're going towards downward, and wow is probably coming from back of your throat.
Right. And I think that is very interesting when it comes to the pronouncing level or pronunciation level. Because do you still remember Ra, when we were talking more about Ra? I think in such a way Ra was a voice sound, so that means we have vibration. It's the same for Zay, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have also vibration style. So if you just say Zay, then you can find a kind of vibration, right? And I think that is probably can be described as a alveolar sound. So that means that your tip of the tongue actually touches that part in your oral cavity here. Can you see that? And I think that's also oral sound. But I think even the sign of writing Zay could be different from Ra in just one dot. Can you see that? So I would tell you here, that is, do you still remember the way that we write Ra?
Yeah.
Okay. So here it is for Zay. It's the same like Ra. Put just one dot.
I think it's still, you could say, still running with a sequence.
Right.
Dal and Dal and Ra and
Yeah.
Za.
Okay.
It's the sequence, yeah.
So let me just repeat
Sequence.
all of them again. Here is that.
I think you could also say it's the beauty of Arabic language. It's a sequence.
Exactly right.
Sequence you have.
Here is that. So I would say that we have here Dal. Dal. And then we have Zal.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Ra. R. Z.
Riz.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And we discussed before Jim. Ha.
Kha.
Kha. Can you see that? And we also discussed before
Ba.
Ha.
Ta.
Ha.
Tha.
Sa.
And Sa.
Yeah.
Sequence.
Right. Very similar.
It's easy.
Even
easy
in
to
the
learn.
word,
Very
Yeah.
easy.
It's
Even
very
in the
easy.
word Urth.
Right.
Urth,
Right.
you have very heavy vibration after Alif. You
Exactly.
massive
Yes.
vibration.
Right, right. And I think that's probably can be very clear when it comes to the examples. So when you talk about the examples, here is that. When it comes, for example, they, when it comes to initial position, I would say that it's most of the times is disconnected.
This
Yeah.
kind.
Like, for
Yes.
example, do you still remember the word flower in Arabic? What does that mean? It means warda,
Warda.
but it also means zahra.
Yeah.
I don't know actually what's the semantic distinction between warda and zahra.
Yeah.
But let me just, here is that. So zahra here is, can you please follow me writing it? Here is that for them. And then we have ha here. I think we can discuss more about ha. And then we have here ra combined with the previous letter. And then we have ha. Actually, it's called ta marbuta. I think this is a long distance. Can you see that? That's wrong. Can you see that? Right. So anyway, so did you write something like that? Yes, I would like just to have a look at this. Here we go. Right, exactly.
I find it difficult to write what this sound was called.
Zay or
No,
ha?
after Zay.
Oh, ha.
I think it's more easy, not difficult. It's just like a heart. I mean, slightly different shape.
Okay.
I find
Let me just make a line here.
which
think-
mean curves and circles in it. You're right. Again.
Right, exactly.
It's,
So,
it's similar to when you're drawing a heart.
yep, that's right. It's very close, probably, Sama, to H
O?
or something like that. Yep. But
O?
when it comes, yes, I'm talking about the pronunciation. Ha probably could be very close to H.
Yeah.
But when it comes to writing, yes, we have actually. We can discuss more about that. Yes, it's very close to O, but two O's combined together. Here's that. Let me just write that once
I
again.
won't say O because O is more of circle. I think it's more of
Something like circles combined together.
yeah,
Here is it in this way.
more of
under-
eggy shape.
or shape, or something like that. Yep.
Shape.
Yep. Khalid?
I think the easy way to write it, you write like a C, and
Yep.
on the C you put like a wow.
Exactly. Here is
Get it
that.
like that.
Can you see that, Osama, again? Oh.
I think it's probably close, you know, open. See,
Yep. Okay. And then we have Ra. And then we have Ta marbuta, which is called closed tab. Can you see that? So that is for the here. Is it connected or disconnected?
Yeah.
I think it's disconnected, right? Okay.
Disconnected.
So this is when it comes to initial position. When it comes also, another word here is ziyara, which means visit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then we have Alif, and we have Ra, and we have Ta. Here is it. Can you see that? Okay. Well, let me just move on here to another example when it comes in the medial position. And I think when it comes to medial position, we have very important word like, for example, Azhar. Here is it.
Yeah.
How many letters do we have here in this word?
4,
4. 1,
2.
2, Alif, Za, Ha, and Ra. Can you see that? A is not connected with the following one, and Za also is not connected here when it comes to medial position. Then we combine Ha with Ra here in this way. Azhar means it's a very famous place here in Egypt. It's called Azhar Mosque.
Maybe use Ahmad as a verb to
Right.
have buds.
Exactly, that's right.
For plants.
Right, that's right. Okay, so this is probably when it comes in the medial position. When it comes in the final position, let me just give you an example here. Oh, it's a very famous.
We may say rizq. We have rizq.
Rizq, exactly. Here is it, Osama. Your livelihood. Right, here is it. Can you see that? So it's disconnected. Now let's move on here to the final position. Yep.
Some people do that rose.
Right.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I think Osama said that during the break. I think that he was talking about urs, so he said ruz, and I think Osama is not wrong because he says the slang word which is used here in Egypt.
Yes.
And when you say ruz, which means urs,
Yeah.
right, sounds like that. Yeah, I think. And that is, again, that's related to the variations or different levels when it comes to the slang in Arabic. I think that's quite interesting. Can you see that, Osama?
Yeah, it's not very difficult.
Yep.
You are not using a total different word. But just we make changes to this word.
Exactly.
To make it easy. As you know, people tend to exert not more effort, to be relaxed, have comfort, to be comfort in using the word. That is why they are changing, they are maybe omitting words.
So to be
to make it easy for them. Okay?
So
Can you give us examples, Osama?
so you
Yes.
try to say to be comfort, you can just reduce
Yeah,
one
here
word.
for example, when I say orz, so I find it difficult for me, and I have much time, a long time to say orz, so roz, okay, for short, clear cut.
Right,
roz.
right, exactly. And that's why today you can find a lot of words in Arabic. It's used in such a way. I mean, you can find the standard form for the word. Like, for example, when you say, any word like, for example, ja'a, so you say ge.
Yeah.
You don't say
Yeah,
ja'a,
ge.
you say ge.
And also, at time you waited some taxi, you can say like that, yeah, asta.
Yeah.
But there is some the meaning in the classic Arabic ustaz.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
In fact, this word is ustaz.
Right.
But the peoples in local language use asta.
We're going to have a break, and after that we can discuss more about what's the following letter after zay. My dear viewers, stay tuned. We will be right back.
Back to the Prophet. Join Sheikh Ahmad in the program Back to the Prophet, wherein he teaches us practical lessons from the Prophet's life and how this can help us to overcome our challenges in the present.
We talk about the life example of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, seeking guidance for ourselves. In the early days after the revelation of the Holy Quran, the Muslims were greatly persecuted, so much so that quite a few Muslims had to leave Arabia and migrate to Africa to live among Ahl Kitab, Christian people who followed the gospel of Christ.
Welcome back again to our program, Learn Arabic. I think in the previous part we were talking about zay, and we were talking about different levels of slang, especially when it comes to changing probably the letters completely. And I think that Osama does have a comment when it comes in English, for example, something like that.
Yeah, I'm speaking about the slang in English.
Yep.
In slang in English, I find that native speakers of English tend to change the whole word. Okay, they change the complete. So
You want to say that there's a difference, for example, between standard English and slang English?
in English, yeah.
But it's not the same, by the way, in Arabic.
Not the same. No,
Right,
in
right.
Arabic. In Arabic, we just make changes to the word.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't leave it completely.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sometimes you can say they eat the word, but make changes. Like
Yeah.
rose.
Yeah.
Right.
For example, as we have in rose ice, we say rose.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Rather than ice. Okay.
Something like that, yep.
Yeah.
But in English, for example, for home, they will use something like yard or something. Totally change the word.
Yeah.
yeah,
in
I
the English
see.
language, yeah. So
I
It's
see.
totally
it's
That's,
different,
slang.
very different.
that's quite
And
interesting.
they'll have words like blood, it's a slang word. So if you say something like blood, they'll say, well, my blood? No, it's a slang word.
Yep.
So it's,
That's right. Well, I think that the following letter after zay will be very interesting. I would say that is probably could be easy in pronouncing it, but when it comes to writing it, probably we have to stop and learn how can we write sin, which is probably the 11th alphabet in Arabic, which is sin. And as it says here in the slides, it Seen pronounced like seen, the word seen in English.
It's
and
probably close to actual word since. You had this.
Yep,
Yes.
that's right. That's
It's
right.
easy. It's easy in the
Very
pronunciation.
easy, I think, Osama. We don't have a lot of effort to be perfect in pronouncing seen.
I even find seen easy to write because, for example, I learned this in my arts in Pakistan. When you make a girl's face,
Yep.
you use the 3 lines of scene and you just turn it around and you bring the whole circle and you put the eyes.
Yes, that's right.
But also we have it is easy to pronounce it. But also we make overlap here in Arab world between sin and sad. For example, salaba to rob somebody. For example, we say salaba, crucify.
Salaba, right.
Okay, so sometimes there is
that's right.
having
That's
confusion.
right. By the way, saw is an emphatic sound.
It's emphatic sound.
Right. So that means it holds the same feature for sa, but probably it has also additional features that can be found in saw.
I think the difference between the sound seen and sod, seen and sod. But some words like when you have in Holy Quran, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين. I mean, a lot of people will make mistakes.
I see.
Because it's the same thing, very, very close.
Yeah, very close. It has to do with the heaviness, the issue of heaviness.
Right.
Sad always mufakhama.
Right, right.
Sin is always muraqqaq.
Which is described as emphatic and non-emphatic sounds.
Yes.
I think that's right. And for sa, I think that would be very easy to pronounce it lightly. So can you say it again? Sa.
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 Okay, now let's move on here to the slide.
So
By the way, sin is the 12th alphabet of Arabic.
Oh, you're right. That's right.
12th.
Yep, that's right. Right.
Yeah, but there is no writing 11th.
11, right. Oh, okay.
and it could also be close to actually sa. If
Sa,
you pronounce it
has to
wrong.
be Sa, yeah.
Exactly, that's right. Some people probably might be confused between tha, and
Sa.
sa. Can you see that?
Yes.
Right.
I think seen much of like a snaky way.
Exactly, right.
Sanat, for example.
So your tip of the tongue probably could be very close.
I think
to the
when
alveolar range
you
of
recite
the
some word like as you just mentioned, what's sama, you
right.
can really come really close to pronounce it wrong.
Exactly,
Or
that's right.
thumma and sum,
No.
Yep. Sum
Yeah.
poison.
and thum. Right. That's right. That's right. Okay. Now let's move on here to the slide, and it says, "Sin is the name of the Arabic letter corresponding to English S, as in the word seen. However, remember that English S represents several different sounds, the most common of which is z. A sound is often taken in between vowels, like in easy, or as a plural ending, as in dogs or bugs.
Bugs, yeah.
I think that is very interesting. Arabic seen, on the other hand, always retains the soft s sound.
Yeah.
Can you see that? I think that's quite interesting. And I have to explain something like that because, as you know that in English, we do have, for example, the letter sa here, which is S. But I think when it comes S in English, I think if it comes intervocalic,
Yeah.
Meaning between two vowels, in such a way you can find that S is pronounced as Z. We don't have that in Arabic.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Right, that's in English.
Yeah.
But in Arabic we just have one sound for one letter.
Yes.
So we say sa, we pronounce it as s, so we don't
See.
pronounce it as z, as we have in English, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
Can you see
yeah.
that?
Ah, I see,
Okay.
yeah.
So Arabic sin, on the other hand, always retains the soft s sound. I think that's quite interesting to explain more about. Very interesting also that when you say s, there's no vibration at
No
all.
vibration, yeah.
So it's a voiceless sound. We don't have any kind of movement here. So it's a very easy sound. And also, when you produce this sound, what's happening here is that you put your tip of the tongue here in the place of the alveolar ridge, and the air stream is released from the mouth.
Yes.
So it's oral sound. It cannot be pronounced by using nasal cavity. You can say zzz.
As we have said, except
Exactly.
get flow or
Right. That's right. Okay. And then it's described also as fricative because, again, when we produce the sound, we have certain level of friction happening when the air stream is released from the mouth.
Yeah.
And that's why it's described as voiceless, fricative, and oral sound. But my main concern here, just to pronounce it, follow me please, sa.
Sa.
Right, exactly. Here is the point of how can we write it. Sin is a connecting letter that is distinguished in print by 3 teeth.
Yeah.
Okay? In
That
hind,
is-
yep.
You are saying that that is to say that in initial position we don't have disconnected scene.
Exactly. We don't have any kind of disconnected seat. So with the 3 T's here, in this way, I would say, here is it. When it comes to scene, we have 3 T's. Very important here to mention that. Here is that. 1, 2, 3. And then we have tail. Okay. Now, however, scene is often written with its teeth as a long straight line. This varies according to the regional practice or personal preference. And in this form, it's called toothless. Oh, yeah, right, that's right.
Toothless.
Sometimes when you write scene, you don't use the 3 teeth.
Just front line, I think.
Exactly. It's a very simple and straight line here in this way. So rather than using this form, what you are making sometimes, you make something like that. Can you see that?
Yeah, fun.
Okay.
Fun. Some people
So we
write
don't
it
have,
such a-
right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. In either case, it takes a tail when it's written independently or in final position. I think that's quite interesting. So that means that in scene also we do have tail. It's the same like what we have before in Jim, Han, Ha. We have tail.
But I think it is different.
I know, the direction.
Opposite sides.
Exactly, it
Yeah,
could be. The
that's
direction of the
right.
tail in Jim and Han, Ha is different. Like here in this way, let me just write it once again. Here is that. Jim, Ha, and Ha.
But in scene it's inverse it.
Yeah.
Yep. But when it comes to scene, here is it again. Can you see such tail?
Yeah.
Here is it. This is the 1, 2nd, the 3rd. But when it comes to scene,
Fully different, I think.
Yeah.
the direction probably here of the tail is coming through the right side, but the direction here is coming through the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And again, that in writing scene, we have 2 forms, which simply described as 3 teeth scene or toothless scene. Right. Yep. Okay. Do you have any question? Right. So here is that. Again, so what we make here, straight line, this is another form for scene, or here is it. Can you see that?
I think toothless scene or the scene with tooths, it's not really confusing because the rule has been defined.
Right.
You know, people know the rule of toothless scene and scene with the tooths.
Right.
So it's not really confusing instead of other letters which are probably you don't put like dots or you don't put nothing, so it could be confusing. But scene and scene, toothless with tooth, I think it's really simple and
It's very simple.
Exactly.
Whatever it takes of shapes.
But
Right,
confusion is in scene between scene and swad.
And see and saw.
It's very
right.
big confusion.
Yes.
Yep.
Sometimes the native language, the natives cannot
Right.
pronounce is good.
Right.
Yeah.
Between sin and saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Se, saw.
Saw.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Se, saw.
Saw.
Yes.
Right.
I think it's swad is probably closing your mouth more and releasing from the top of your mouth.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's why it's described as emphatic.
Emphatic,
That
yeah.
means that we have actually the middle of the tongue is getting back. We
You do have some
construction
sort
the-
of whistle in a swad,
Yep.
but you don't have the scene. Scene is more of a this kind of voice.
Right. It's a very light sound here for sin, but in saw, I would say it's a heavy sound.
Yeah.
And you do have some sort of whistle in it as well.
Exactly, that's right. And I think that's another interesting point because when it comes to writing scene, in handwriting style, you can write both forms of scene, toothless or with 3 T's.
But swad is only in one position.
But when it comes to the typewriting style, we just have scene with 3 T's.
With 3 T's,
I don't
yeah.
think that we have in the typewriting style scene toothless. I don't think so.
We have in خط الرقعة,
Right.
I think.
But how about when it comes to the newspapers or any typewriting styles?
No.
We don't have
They
that.
stick to the
toothless.
classical,
Right. But you were talking about something could be very interesting. Go ahead, Usama. You were
This,
talking.
I'm speaking about about the Raqqa style.
Okay,
Okay,
right.
something
That
to do
is
with
absolutely
calligraphy.
correct. That's probably, again, related to the style of calligraphy and the handwriting style of C. My dear viewers, I think that we can discuss more about the style of writing C and the different or the variety of writing seen in different positions inside the word in Arabic. Until we see you next time, please, if you have any comment, as always, send me email to brave, BRAVE107 @yahoo.com. Thank you for joining us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for Tawwab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.